Hi, welcome to another episode of Revolutionary G-Talks. My name is Giselle Ureña and I am so excited. We are already in 2022. Time is flying by and I'm so happy to be today with two queens that are going to be talking about their journeys and some amazing things that I would love for you to learn about. So without further ado, I want to welcome Kate and Joana. We can start with you, Kate. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Oh, Dios mío, ¿cómo estás? Gracias por haberme aquí. Definitivamente ha sido un placer para mí estar aquí contigo y poder hablar un poquito del transcurso de lo que me ha tomado llegar hasta aquí, lo cual no ha sido nada fácil. Pero para empezar, yo soy una mujer multitask, que hago de todo un poco, he tratado muchísimas cosas y definitivamente encontré mi pasión. Después de muchos años tratar diferentes negocios, la pasión mía ahora mismo es hacer cuadros, el arte, la resina, los portavasos que son los coasters. Soy una persona que hago diferentes cosas, multifacéticas, también como influencia de Amazon, lo cual eso fue lo que me impulsó hasta acá. Pude llegar a encontrar mi verdadera pasión, que es esto. So, aparte de lo otro que estaba haciendo anteriormente, aquí estoy ahora.
Wow, that is beautiful. That is gorgeous. This is her art, everybody. Look
beautiful.
At this beautiful art piece. Well, we're so happy to have you, Kate, and thank you sincerely for joining us. Joanna.
Let's go. Let's go.
Where are you from? What do you do? Introduce yourself.
Awesome. My name is Joanna De Peña, and I'm the founder and CEO of Top Notch Scholars. And Top Notch is a youth leadership development organization in Lawrence, working on empowering and inspiring our youth to chase down their goals and success. So it's much needed in Lawrence and across the nation, and one day we'll be national, and I'll be the next Oprah.
Yes! Yes! And Dominican. We are all Dominican here, so we're so proud. No, seriously, I'm so pumped. I'm so happy. So today, the reason why I'm bringing these ladies is because they will talk about their journeys, and they're doing so great right now, but it just did not happen like this. It took its time, and I want them to talk about that journey. So my first question is, how did you find out this is what you wanted to do, and what are the steps you both took in order to make it to where you are?
So a couple of years ago, I actually launched my first product, which was Boundary by Kate. So I was designing tie for women, which I did like a huge launch for that, and everybody was going crazy because it was something unique and different. And I don't know, it was just something that I had so much passion at the beginning, but then it's like when you're doing something that you really don't feel like that's what you really want, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, can you please? I want one." And they're so different, but it wasn't something that I was feeling it. Like it wasn't really inside of me. I took a year, like I stopped everything, and I took a year for myself. And that year, I met my husband, and going to New York, he used to talk so much about the good things that he used to see in me, and I was just like, realized that it was something else that I wanted in life, know what I was doing. And then I started looking up for stuff, and I saw that classes online. I got into it, I bought it. It started it was only a hobby.
Wow.
That's how I started doing it. After I started doing it, it was just so passionate. I was just like, I couldn't sleep. I was just doing something different every day and every day. Until I just start showing it in my story to everybody. People just fall in love with everything that I was doing, and I'm like, this is a business.
This is a business.
This is a business, and I was just like getting more classes, more knowledge into it, and to become a business. So I've been doing it for 2 years now.
2 years.
Yes, but this year it's when actually I stopped working. And I said, okay, this is the moment and this is the step that I need to get.
Oof.
Which is a really hard decision.
It's a risk.
It's a huge risk. And thanks God, it's been already 6 months.
Wow.
And it's been a really successful business.
Making profit.
Actually, last month, for the first time, we made $10,000.
In 6 months.
That's crazy.
Last month was a huge month. This
Let's
month,
go.
I haven't, like, we actually closed the month, at the beginning of next month.
Yes.
But it's been busy. It's Christmas.
Wow.
So let's see. But this is something that I think it can go to
Really
the next
go.
step.
You will.
It will.
You know.
Definitely will. Joanna, what about you?
Well, first of all, congrats. Like that, taking 10K in six
Thank you.
months,
Thank you.
that's an inspiration because a
Yes.
lot of people have hobbies and things that they're good at and they just don't have the confidence to just get up and try. So I really want to.
Well, let me tell you something,
know.
Joanna. It haven't been easy.
Of
Like
course.
I've been knocking on the doors and I've been calling people, everybody that I know from my past that I have years.
Yeah.
I've been calling it and calling everybody to let them know that I'm doing this. I send pictures, I send videos, I do TikTok, I do story every day.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but it's something that I want everybody to know that you can do it. It's something that is
Amen.
possible.
Amen.
It's just not easy, but all the things that you would start doing, they're not easy. But there's a huge door waiting for you to
Amen.
open up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And when you have faith,
You have
that's
to have faith.
Unstoppable.
unstoppable.
Yeah. Pa'lante. Pa'lante. So my story is interesting because, before I start with the moment that I found my purpose and passion, there's some background story to that, and I'll make it really, really quick. So, growing up in Lawrence, as you know, it's tough, right? So, and I also grew up without a father because he had a stroke, and so I didn't really have much of a father figure, but the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence became that figure for me. So I knew the value of working hard, hard work pays off, making sure that my academics were on point. So I made sure that my academics were on point, and because of that, and playing basketball, I landed a full scholarship. From there, interned at Disney in college. So growing up in Lawrence, I experienced a lot of successes. So the moment that I was able to speak at my middle school, which I was called to speak at my middle school, I had all these experiences to talk about. And so my message to the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders at that moment was, you have to follow your dreams, and you have to know that you are the person that opens up your door. Mm-hmm. And so when I shared my story from basketball to academics to the private high school that I went to Disney, to college, to starting up my own business, the kids were just like waiting for more, right? And so at that moment, I had all the kids getting up saying, "Man, Joe, thank you so much for sharing your story because I want to be just like you while following my dreams." Wow. And at that moment is when I told myself, I gotta do this for a living. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I have to do this for a living because I felt that I found my calling. I found that my words and my actions and the way that I move a room, can move a room, right? Can move kids into action. So I then ran to my mentor, and he ended up hooking me up and helping me start a nonprofit organization, which is Top Notch Scholars. So now I spend my time traveling to schools, organizations, and running programs within my organization to inspire our kids to just chase their dreams.
Something you both mentioned was investing on mentors. You said you took classes to learn.
Yes.
You said you partnered with your mentor who guided you to get this.
Yes.
And then another thing you said is that you both did not know. It was just an instant emotion that just came, and you're like, this is it.
Yes.
Yes.
But you didn't know what you were going to do next. There's a lot of people that probably have felt that, but they let something keep them back, hold them back. Did you experience that? And how did you overcome that emotion?
So when thinking about starting a nonprofit, first of all, I had no idea how to even start this thing, right? Because it's way different. There's different regulations. You need like boards of trustees, and there's so many things that comes with that. So I was intimidated at first, but thank God, like you just mentioned, I surrounded myself by mentors. I surrounded myself with programs that helped me learn about how to run a nonprofit, how to be an executive director, how to do profit and loss, and all the stuff that comes in it. So instead of shying away and curling up into a ball because I don't know how to do these things yet, I just threw myself into the fire and I challenged myself to just seek more information, get more time with mentors and people, with coffee, I don't know, and ask as many questions as I can. So I just turned into just being hungry to learn, being hungry to reach out to more seasoned professionals than me. I wanted to be around people that were smarter than me, right?
Yes.
People that have been in the game. So that's what I did.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this in Spanish because I want everybody to listen to what I'm gonna say. Yo tengo muchas personas que me han llamado y me escriben, me dicen, oh my God, tú estás en el momento, en el tiempo que yo quisiera llegar. Y yo le dije, es posible. O sea, yo le digo a todo el mundo, es posible. Pero es como dice Joanna, tú tienes que rodearte de personas que sean más hartos que tú, personas que te motiven y que no te dejen que tu sueño se caiga. Sí. Que tú siempre estés enfocado en lo que tú quieres y que cada día tú sueñes más. En el caso mío, yo sí tuve mucho miedo. Tuve muchísimo miedo de dar ese paso, de dejar un trabajo, un dinero seguro de toda la semana. O sea, a weekly, like I used to get paid really good. And just to leave that secure, just to start a new business, it's huge.
It's so scary.
It's huge. And I was making, I was doing it part-time, so I was making a little bit, but not much. But it was like, let's say $800 extra. It's a lot, but not as much as your paycheck. And it was so scary. Pero gracias a Dios, la base de tener una pareja que te apoya y que te inspira a salir adelante y que te dice, tú lo puedes hacer. Óyeme, no lo pienses, ya, hazlo. Yo no tenía website, yo no tenía absolutamente nada. Obviamente, ¿cómo lo hago? Él empezó, en el tiempo del COVID, él empezó a estudiar to be a web designer. So, él lo hizo por mí. Él básicamente hizo mi página web, él maneja la página completamente, la página ha crecido inmensamente, empezamos a hacer review en restaurantes, lo cual hizo que, ahora tenemos más de 500,000 de views. So, una cosa llevó a otra. Y la seguridad realmente, que cuando yo me sentía débil, él me decía, Miosa, yo te veo grande. Y siempre ese apoyo emocional que tú necesitas. Y obviamente educarme todos los días más. So, yo no paro de estudiar, yo cojo diferentes cursos, clases de coaching también para motivación, porque mentalmente tú necesitas estar bien mentalmente para tú poder hacer un buen trabajo y mostrarlo al público, porque si tú no tienes una seguridad en ti misma, tú no puedes mostrar seguridad en tu trabajo. So, cuando yo invento algo, I'm so confident de que a todo el mundo le va a gustar, que yo digo, oh, this is my glam charcuterie board. So it's like something new every day, y realmente ese miedo tú lo vas echando a un lado, porque tú conviertes el miedo en tu fuerza,
motivación,
y es tu motivación mayor, y todos los días yo prefiero luchar contra ser mejor conmigo misma y cerrar esos miedos que se queden atrás y sacar la seguridad adelante. So, yo creo que el tú rodearte de personas positivas es una base fundamental. O sea, cero negatividad.
Absolutely.
Todo positivo. A mí que nadie me diga nada negativo, porque yo lo negativo lo vuelvo en algo positivo.
Exactamente.
Me pasa algo malo, espérate, eso me pasó porque viene algo mejor. Y a los 2 o 3 días, aleluya, aquí llegó una bendición.
Amén.
So, hay que ser positiva y optimista y nunca dejar de abrirte las puertas, de estudiar, de seguir indagando de qué hay nuevo, porque en cualquier tipo de carrera que tú estés, siempre hay cosas nuevas. Y tú siempre tienes que estar abriéndote las puertas para poder estar siempre al nivel de todo lo que está. La tecnología está súper avanzada. Tú tienes que estar en TikTok. Yo no tenía TikTok. Empecé a hacer el TikTok hace unos meses y ya básicamente me abrieron la parte de cuenta de negocio. So that's huge.
Wow.
Cool.
So, like little by little, everything takes time, but it's possible.
Something both of you mentioned is, before you made it to this point, you tried other things. sometimes there is this stigma or this stereotype that you're born with something and you figure it out right away. I believe that yes, we are all born with something unique, but it's not true that you figure it out right away. Right. So what have you done, Joanna? What are the different things that you have encountered and tried that led you to the point where you was like, this sixth graders, this middle schoolers just sparked what I know I'm supposed to be doing here?
Yeah.
What did you do before?
So prior to that moment, I was speaking a lot to business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs. I even started, my first company was called Top Notch Network, and it was actually a networking company. So we would have events from Boston to Lawrence in different lounges or different cafe areas, and we would have different topics, right? Wow. So between branding and marketing, public speaking. So I was really around professionals a lot. And that really is what led, I guess, people to recognize the stuff that I'm doing. And that's how they brought me in to speak, because they told me, well, you're from Lawrence, you went through the same struggles our kids are going through, you overcame it, you were successful in it, landing scholarships and going to college and all this good stuff, come in and speak. So, I did that for about a year and a half. And so for a year and a half, I was speaking to professionals and businesses. But the moment that I went into that classroom and I was able to speak to the kids and share with them, hey, I was in your shoes. I'm from the same city you're in. Yes. Just because we're called a low income community and our parents might not make as much money, that doesn't mean that, that we don't deserve success. Mm-hmm. And so by helping our kids understand that and to see a product from the same city to accomplish all these things, that's really what sparked my inspiration, to see the kids, their eyes, their motivation, and then I kept doing it, and that's how I started the nonprofit. But it was pretty interesting to see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you? I know you said you had another profession before this.
Yeah. I used to work in a company for like 4 years, and it was just terrible because I don't even know why I last so long in that job. The way they treat people, and I was like, this is not for me. That was like my worst experience. But you know how you get responsibility and stuff, and it's like, okay. So there was a moment I started having a lot of nervous and stuff like that, and anxious, and I was eating a lot, and I gained so much weight, and it was all because of that job. Wow. And my husband was like, you have to like do something, like this is like, okay, that's it. So it was hard for me to just take the decision, but I did it, and like I said, I started my business as a part-time, but then it became a full-time.
Wow,
that's so cool. And I knew I was gonna be a little bit, unstable, like emotionally, because I was afraid. I was really afraid. I was like, oh my God, what happened if this doesn't work out? What happened if I don't get money? What happened if something goes wrong?
Yeah.
And it's something that I think everybody goes through that stage.
Yes.
But then I overcome all those negative thoughts, and I start just thinking positive, and I start doing what I do. I'm good doing videos. I'm good talking to people on my story, and I'm good just showing up all the stuff that I do, and it just became really successful.
I love it.
Something that I see both of these queens mention is the impact that it has to be self-aware and to know what's really filling your cup, what's really making you feel alive, what's really making you feel like you're at your best. So I see that you both keep tackling this healing or just self-development conversation. Yeah. So what do you do so that you're at your best self, so that when you show up to top-notch nonprofit, you are also giving your best and they're receiving the best from you so that they can be their best? What do you do to take care of yourself?
I do a lot of things. So I make sure that, I love to cycle. So I ride bikes, well, not now, it's cold. But I make sure that I ride at least 20 miles every other day. Yeah, like I'm gonna call
I thought you were going to say 5 miles.
Wow, 20 miles. I'm gonna correct that in my life, definitely.
I just did 30 miles 2 weeks ago in New York. It was an event.
Wow.
But some people would think that I'm crazy because that is intense in a way, but it makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know, so I make sure that I do things that I love. So whether if it's cycling or reading, I love to read books. Personal development books, in particular. I also meditate in the morning. I like to take some quiet time. I like to reflect on my day, reflect on my week. And I also like to think about the future. So thinking about the future and reflecting about the moment, all that motivates me and keeps me grounded. And I always remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing on days that are tough. And it's funny because when I'm having like a tough day or a tough week, every time that I finish a workshop with the kids and I see like their smile or they thank me for the workshop or the time that we spend together, that's the biggest paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like getting paid $1 million right there when I get to hear the feedback from the kids. So I just stay grounded, I stay focused, and I make sure that I do things that I love. The last thing I'll mention of the things that I do is that I like to travel. And I like to sightsee, so I always like to find places to kayak, to hike. I like to sit near water, so I always like to just be connected with nature. So regardless of what people think about those things, so catch me if you can. If you want to ride,
we do a lot of hiking. We love to hike. And we love to travel too, and like I manifest a lot. That's the first thing that I do, and I made a board with my goals already for 2022.
Let's go.
Which I have all the stuff that I need and the stuff that I'm gonna get. Not that I want, the stuff that I'm gonna get, because I know it's coming little by little. Every month I'm gonna reach one of my goals, and this is how I actually focus every day. And obviously, you know, I like to get away with my husband. We always like try to disappear. It's been the last couple of months, it's been really rough because it's been a lot of work, which is a bless. That's what everybody wants. But it's exhausting. And then, you know, you work so much. Sometimes we work from 5 in the morning to 11 p.m. And we're like home. But it's just so much stuff to do. So besides I do signs, acrylic signs. So I do the painting and I do the designs. I'm also doing, have you seen those kits from the real estate use for closing? So I'm doing that too.
Okay.
Wow.
So I have like a lot of different, you know, stuff, that I do when I'm not doing this and I'm doing something else. So it's been really, the last 3-4 months, it's been really tough, but good.
So what do you both say to somebody that right now know that thing that's calling them, but they don't know how to start? What should they do?
Find a mentor. I mean, you want to start?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay. For me, it's find a mentor, and if you don't know who to find, research like in your community. I mean, there's a Chamber of Commerce in every town.
E for all
is right here. E for all is in Lawrence, Lowell, Lynn, and different areas. And there's a bunch of programs out there that even if you just join, you'll find mentors organically. You know, they don't have to have a sign on their forehead that says I'm a mentor. Just find someone that clicks. And if you can't find someone in person, go on LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn and find someone who is either doing what you want to do and they're successful, or just reach out to them. You know, ask for like a cup of coffee, lunch, dinner, whatever, and just take advantage of that time that you have that person. But don't be afraid. You know, reach out to people, mingle. You know, that's the best advice.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm so happy you were able to enjoy our episode. But make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and stay tuned for the next one.